What if the reality about UFOs is not written in the stars, but in the abyssal depths that humanity has not yet had the courage to explore? For decades, we were conditioned to look up, expecting contact to come from ships descending from the skies amid bright lights. But Navy radar and state-of-the-art sonar sensors are telling a far more disturbing and fascinating story. The phenomenon we are now witnessing is what experts call transmedium. These are objects that defy every known law of physics, crossing the boundary between air and ocean without losing a speed and, most impressively, without causing a single splash on the surface. Imagine a technology so advanced that the density of water, which would crush any human submarine, is treated as if it were vacuum. Today, we are going to dive into the evidence that aliens are not just visiting us. They have established a permanent presence in our oceans. They are not just passing through. They have set up long-term outposts because, contrary to what many people think, the journey back home is not as simple as the snap of a finger. To understand how these craft operate, we need to forget everything we know about hydrodynamics. When a human-made object enters the water at high speed, the impact is equivalent to hitting a concrete wall. Yet in official Navy videos, we see objects diving into the Atlantic at hundreds of knots with terrifying smoothness. The answer lies in the distortion of the fabric of space-time around the craft. These objects are not swimming in the traditional sense. They create an energy bubble that pushes fluid molecules away before any physical contact even occurs. For the craft, the crushing pressure of the depths does not exist. This distortion technology is what allows them to ignore the boundary between sky and sea. If you can manipulate gravity to travel through space, then water becomes just another low-resistance medium. And it is precisely this tactical advantage that allows them to hide where no satellite or surface radar can see them. The ocean is the only place on Earth where a superior intelligence can operate with total impunity, far from the eyes of 8 billion humans. Many people believe alien craft cross the universe instantaneously, but the logistical reality is more complex. My view is that these beings use wormholes, true shortcuts through the fabric of the cosmos. However, these portals are not conveniently located within our solar system. They may be situated in neighboring systems or in remote regions of interstellar space. That means that after passing through a wormhole, these travelers still need to navigate through conventional space to reach Earth, a journey that could take days, weeks, or even months in our earthly time. Because of this limitation, they need permanent bases here. Traveling back and forth to their home system is not a 5-minute trip. It requires planning and a safe harbor for maintenance and rest. The ocean is the arrival terminal of this interstellar highway. By diving into the sea, they bring an exhausting journey through the void to an end, finding a refuge where they can remain for long periods until the window for the next return trip opens. In this scenario, the idea that they build underwater cities out of bricks and metal is obsolete. Why waste resources mining the ocean floor if their own craft is already a self-sufficient fortress? We have countless reports from sonar operators describing colossal underwater objects, craft larger than the biggest human aircraft carriers. These are the motherships, true mobile cities. They do not need to build a base. They are the base. Imagine a vehicle a kilometer long that simply descends to the ocean floor and parks there. It has infinite energy, advanced life support systems, and hangars for smaller exploration craft. Parking on the seabed is the most logical engineering solution. Total protection from radar, natural shielding from solar radiation, and a level of isolation that no land-based facility could ever provide. When you see a small USO entering the water, it is not searching for a cave. It is returning to the hangar of one of these gigantic craft, resting silently in ocean trenches where sunlight never reaches. The presence of these stationed base ships creates a new layer of mystery around the control of our own planet. While nations fight over pieces of dry land, an external intelligence holds absolute dominion over the remaining 70% of Earth's surface. The United States government and other global powers monitor what they call fast movers, underwater objects traveling at speeds that defy acoustic science. The Navy's underwater microphone systems often detect low-frequency sounds that do not belong to whales or volcanoes, but instead to the internal operation of these massive machines. We are sharing the Earth with silent neighbors who have chosen the abyss as their territory. They are stationed there, watching our evolution and our military tests, protected by the crushing pressure of the water that serves as their impenetrable wall. The new reality is that the seafloor is not a biological desert, but the most heavily guarded hangar in the solar system, sheltering technologies that would take us millennia to understand. The true scale of the alien operation in our oceans only becomes clear when we examine the concept of modular craft. If these motherships stationed on the seafloor are the size of cities, then they function as mobile hangars for the smaller craft, the ones we see in the skies. When a tic-tac object or a metallic sphere is spotted by the Navy, it did not come directly from deep space. It emerged from an opening in the structure of a giant craft resting on the ocean floor. This explains why these objects appear and disappear from radar so quickly. They have a safe harbor just a few kilometers below the surface. The logistics are perfect. The mothership provides energy, repairs, and protection for the reconnaissance units. Motherships, the stationary cities. The concept of parking the base instead of building it solves the greatest problem faced by any advanced civilization, the detection of heat signatures. Constructing a base beneath the sea would generate debris, vibrations, and an industrial signature that our sonar systems would detect in a short time. But a craft that arrives already complete, equipped with gravity propulsion systems, can simply descend gently onto the ocean floor and shut down its non-essential systems. Reports from submariners mention mountains that appear and disappear on sonar maps. In 1992, in the Bermuda Triangle, divers and explorers reported giant pyramidal structures made of a material resembling glass or crystal. But what if these were not structures at all, but the motherships themselves, parked there for decades, perhaps centuries, waiting for orders or for the right moment to use the next wormhole transit window? The structure is the craft itself, and the ocean is its natural hangar. There are records of Russian and American nuclear submarines encountering moving walls in areas where the maps indicated open ocean. During these encounters, the electronic systems of human submarines simply shut down. It becomes a technological exclusion zone. They do not need to fight us. They simply disable our ability to perceive them as we pass over their base ships. The interception of undersea cables. There is a fascinating and frightening pattern. The presence of USOs and UFOs increases dramatically near naval bases and nuclear testing areas. But what few people realize is that most of our nuclear activity either takes place in the oceans or is transported through them. Nuclear-powered attack submarines and aircraft carriers are the primary targets. My theory is that these craft stationed on the ocean floor function as constant surveillance sensors. This is where the most disturbing part of their presence begins. Intelligence gathering. Almost all of humanity's data traffic passes through fiber optic cables resting on the seabed. If you are an advanced intelligence station just a few meters from those cables, you do not need satellites to spy on us. You have direct physical access to our internet, our military secrets, and our financial transactions. By parking their craft near the underwater communication backbones, they may be filtering humanity's collective consciousness in real time. They know what we discover about them before we even publish it.
The ocean allows them to keep tapping into our civilization at the source, while we keep waiting for them to send some signal from outer space. Why does the government do nothing? The answer is simple. We have no jurisdiction on the ocean floor and no technology capable of confronting them there. The pressure at 10,000 meters deep is about 1,000 atmospheres. Our best titanium submarines would begin to deform, while their craft, protected by spatial distortion fields, operate as if they were in a hotel swimming pool. There is a silent non-aggression pact dictated by physics. We do not descend to where they are. and they keep their base ships hidden in the darkness. The conflict only happens at the surface, when they emerge to carry out rapid data collection missions and then return to the safety of the abyss. The new reality we need to accept is that we are tenants on the surface of a planet whose true owner, or at least the most advanced one, lives in the 70% of the territory we have barely begun to map. They are stationed, they are ready, and above all, they have all the time in the universe.
On April 25, 2013, at 9:20 p.m., a U.S. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, patrol aircraft captured one of the most analyzed records in the history of modern ufology in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. The aircraft, a DHC-8 turboprop, was equipped with a high-resolution infrared camera system that tracked a spherical object flying at low altitude over the local airport. For more than 2 minutes, the object traveled at speeds ranging from 37 to 118 miles per hour, or 60 to 190 kilometers per hour. The footage reaches its critical point when the object approaches the coast and dives into the Atlantic Ocean without reducing speed and without producing any sign of impact or heat trail in the water. Through thermal vision, it is possible to observe the object moving beneath the sea surface, and in a documented moment, it emerges from the water, split into two identical units that continue to fly side by side. Technical analysis conducted by the Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies confirmed that the object possessed no flight control surfaces, no visible engines, or any conventional means of propulsion, maintaining a constant temperature throughout its transmedium trajectory.
The Shag Harbor Giant. In 1967, off the coast of Canada, dozens of witnesses saw a craft approximately 20 meters long dive into the waters of Shag Harbor. Unlike an ordinary aircraft crash, the object remained floating and glowing with yellowish lights before fully submerging. When the Navy and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police arrived, they found no wreckage, no oil slicks, and no bodies. Military divers reported that the object moved underwater to a nearby location, where it allegedly met up with a second, larger craft. This supports the idea of stationary motherships. The smaller craft was not lost. It was returning to its safe harbor, to the mothership already waiting on the ocean floor to begin the concealment protocol. The Giants of Japan and the Dragon's Triangle. In Japan, sailors and fishermen have avoided certain areas of the so-called Dragon's Triangle for centuries. Modern reports from the Japanese Coast Guard mention circular craft of massive proportions, larger than artificial islands, emerging from the depths. One of the most striking accounts involves a fleet of fishing boats that saw a metallic structure rise beneath the moonlight, so enormous that the water pouring down its sides looked like an endless waterfall. The craft hovered there for a few minutes before shooting vertically into space. The conflict in Lake Baikal. Although the most famous case involving giant swimmers took place in Lake Baikal, similar incidents have been reported by combat divers in the open sea. Accounts from former Soviet officers describe encounters at a depth of 50 meters with humanoid beings about 3 meters tall, wearing silver suits and spherical helmets, operating near disc-shaped craft. When the divers attempted to capture one of them, an invisible force hurled them back to the surface so quickly that several of them suffered embolisms. This shows that the stationary bases are not just automated machines, they are staffed. There is a biological or robotic garrison protecting these motherships, ensuring that no human gets close enough to understand the technology of the submerged hangar. Interaction with current technology, the bloop and sonar. Our current ocean monitoring technology is constantly running into these stationary craft. The famous bloop sound detected by NOAA in 1997 was picked up thousands of kilometers away and was far more powerful than any sound produced by a blue whale. Although the official explanation is iceberg cracking, many military analysts believe it was a decompression or ignition noise from one of these gigantic craft moving along the ocean floor. Every time one of these mothership bases decides to change position or activate its propulsion systems to leave the planet, it generates an acoustic signature that makes the entire ocean vibrate. We are hearing their engines. We just do not have official permission to admit what they really are. The USS Omaha incident, 2019. This is, perhaps, the most important video of the decade, filmed by sailors aboard the combat ship USS Omaha off the coast of San Diego. It shows a spherical object hovering over the ocean before smoothly diving in. Radar confirmed that the object was about 2 meters in diameter and traveling at impossible speeds before hitting the water. What makes this case real evidence is the military audio. "Splash," they exclaim, confirming physical contact with the sea.
Splashed. Mark bearing and range.
The U.S. Navy confirmed the authenticity of the video. There are no wings, no thermal engines, and most importantly, after the dive, a submarine was sent to the location and the object had simply disappeared. It did not sink like wreckage. It traveled like an USO. The USS Trepang photographs, 1971. For those who say this is modern human technology, we need to look at the leaked photographs from the USS Trepang submarine taken in 1971. The images, captured through the periscope in the North Atlantic, show colossal cigar-shaped and triangular objects rising out of the water and shooting into the sky. The photos are in black and white, but their clarity is disturbing. They show physical, solid craft displacing tons of water. Documents suggest that the Trepang was on a routine mission when it encountered these objects testing their air-sea transition capabilities. These photographs remained classified for decades and are proof that the presence of these bases and craft in the ocean predates any drone or secret technology we possess today. The Indonesian Navy case, 2021. A lesser-known but extremely impactful video came from fishermen and military personnel in Indonesia. In the footage, a perfectly cylindrical object falls from the sky at a right angle and enters the ocean vertically without generating shock waves or an explosion of water. It is a surgical movement. Independent video analysts spent months trying to prove it was CGI, but the way sunlight interacted with the metallic surface of the object during its entry into the water proved it was real. This video is visual proof of the theory we have been discussing. The craft does not hit the water, it opens a path through it using an energy field. Beyond the images, we also have telemetry data. During the USS Nimitz carrier strike group encounter, radar operators using the Aegis system, the most advanced in the world, detected objects descending from 80,000 feet and stopping just 50 feet above the ocean surface in less than a second. Commander David Fravor, who flew toward the object, reported that the water beneath the craft was boiling and disturbed, as if something gigantic just below the surface was interacting with the smaller object. Sonar data from that day showed an acoustic signature of something with more mass than an Ohio-class submarine moving underwater at 500 knots. These are digital pieces of evidence that support the visual testimonies. The evidence we have seen today is not fantasy. It consists of military sensor records, thermal camera footage, and state-of-the-art radar data. The ocean is not just a place of biological mystery, it is humanity's blind spot, where an external intelligence has stationed its bases and operates with total freedom. If government cameras are capturing these objects entering and leaving the sea so frequently, then the question is no longer whether they are here, but what they have been doing down there for so long. The new reality is that the seafloor is the final frontier of alien disclosure. Do not forget to subscribe for our next video. What would you do if you discovered that they were never in space at all, but had always been here, just a few kilometers beneath us?